Hello everyone. For this lesson, I'm going to show you how you're going to enter resources and how you're going to assign them into your activities. So in the previous lesson, I asked, we end up setting up all our Gantt chart and network diagram, including a relationship and how you're going to add those lag time. So this time we will go further by assigning resources and building up your resources. With that, what I want you to do, if you have saved your work, and the desktop. So what you to do is to go to your to the PC of your computer. Okay, here. So you may need to probably open the document. Okay, that's where I save it. A document on the desktop for the TSU computer. So otherwise, what you did is you save it first into your documents on the desktop, and you email that to yourself. If you have that, what I want you to do is just open that up through the TCC cloud, and then go to your Google Chrome and open the file, okay, from your email. So what I'm going to do right now is to continue on with your resources. So we will be looking at how many items, 1 to 8 items for assigned resources. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to, for you to be able to create or build your resources, what I want you to do is go to view bar, and then I want you to go to resource sheet from the list. So if I'll go here on the view bar here, I want you to find the says resource sheet. If you cannot find that, I want you to press the downward arrow until you'll be able to see the says resource sheets here. This is the one that we need for you to build up your resources. So I want you to click that. It brings you into this particular table. So what I want you to do is I want you to type in all of these resources. Otherwise, what I'm going to do, I'll try to copy this one and then paste that into your resource sheet here. So let me see if that, okay, it allows me to put them in. So what I want you to do when it says here your name PM, I want you to put your name exactly here. And in my case, I'm going to put my name here and then dash PM to it. All right. The other thing that I want you to keep in mind is the material that you're going to use. So here you have those different type, work, material, and the last one is the cost. So I want you to go and change those under the type. So work, and the rest here, you may need to probably ship it or probably change this one into material and then drag that down all the way to your siding. So it will change them into material. And then you have here on the delivery, you need to change that to cost. All right. So with that, I want you to go back again into this and I want you to type in all of this information here. So we have here 100, 800%. Okay. Now in MS Project, the unit for workers, materials, or equipment are in terms of percentage. Now, if there is a labor or if there is a person, when you need 2 person to work, that is equivalent to 200%. So make sure that you have to enter in an increment of 100%. So in this case, this is 800%. That is based on what we have here. Let me try if I could copy all of this one here and paste it. Otherwise, if it won't allow us, then probably we need to enter them one by one. Oh, it allows me to enter them. So, or copy and paste it. So I think that's all that you need. And on the cost, we are going to assign that later on, whatever the amount that we need to plug in. In this case, that is about $500. So we're going to enter that once we assign it. Okay. All right. So we have also here the fixed cost that we need to build in later on. But what I want you to take note is how you're going to assign them. So it says here, assign yourself throughout the project. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to go back into your um, MS project. So you are in the resource sheet view. What I want you to do is go back into your Gantt chart view, this one here. So I want you to just go ahead and click that, and we're going to assign yourself throughout the project. So what I want you to do is you could just highlight all of this one here, okay, from planning all the way to install. And then what you need to do for you to be able to assign your resources, you have to go into resource tab. So I want you to write this down here on your node. Okay, so for you, say here, view bar resource sheet, then I want you to enter all the resources. And then the next thing you have to do now is to assign. So how do you assign your resources? How to assign? What you need to do is you need to go to the resource tab. This one here that we have on the resource tab. There you go. And under that, you have the assignments, and then you have here assign resources. So that's the sequence that you are going to do. So you have here on the assignments group, and then I want you to click assign resources. So that is the sequence and how you are going to assign the resources. Oh, by the way, you have that on the second item here. Let me just move that down here. How to assign. Now here, make sure, let me just put here note on the resources. Make sure to change the required types. Okay, that means whether that is work or materials. Okay, there you go. And then make sure that you have to enter the standard rate. Enter standard rate. There you go. All right, and I think that is one that you need to. Now later on, it allows you to enter overtime by clicking the resources, and a dialog box will pop up. A dialog box will appear, and you will find there a box to where you could add the overtime rate on those boxes. It says, I think you have to go into the line 2. Okay, let me just put here line 2 on those cells. Add the effective effective date standard. One thing that I want you to take note, you don't want to erase the first line because that is the original standard rate. So you just need to add additional for a specific date. So let me show you that. Let me go back into your resource sheet. So here, so if I'm going to put an overtime for your general labor, what you need to do is double click that. Okay, double click, and it pop up this dialog box here. Okay, so when you go into the cost tab, that one, you don't want to erase the first line, but you need to add that to the next line. So that's where you're going to put the overtime rate. You have to enter whatever the original standard rate and how much you're willing to pay for the overtime rate on the second line. Okay, and that's how you add overtime. Okay, so let me go back again into your Gantt chart. We're now ready to assign your resources. So I've said you have on your notes, you're asked to assign yourself. Okay, so here assign yourself throughout your throughout the project. So to do that, so what I want you to do is just select all of this one. Sorry, select all of this, and then you have to go into the resource tab, and then on the assignment group, you have the assigned resources. Click that. Then I want you to find yourself. Okay, so in this case, here you have to type in 100%. Okay, so take note of that because that is a person. Don't put one because there will be just 1%. Probably that's just a finger of yourself. So I want you to, or the tip of your nail. So you need to put in 100% for one whole person. And once you've done that, I want you to click assign now. Okay, there you go. So that is now you will notice that there is no cost associated to it. Let me see if why is that? See on the resource sheet. I think we put in the rate already. So and then probably the thing that cause you that problem is that probably you have assigned that on the planning. So you may need to probably you already have all the costs here now. There you go. Okay. There are activities here that are aligned. You will notice that we have here the person. But what I want you to do is to remove yourself from each of this main group. So what you to do to remove yourself from them is go to your planning. So it will highlight that, remove, and then go to your foundation, remove yourself in there, and then from your interior, remove yourself in there, and then you will notice that you get rid of that red person on the indicator. However, when you go to each of them, each of these activities, you will notice that there is a corresponding cost associated to it. That means it depends on the number of days that you work. So this is one day, that's 8 hours times if you're $18 per hour, and that will give you the total cost. Okay. All right, next, on the second step, you're going to assign 200% for labor tasks 5 and 6. So go back here. This is your task 5 and 6. These two here. I want you to assign labor. So general labor. So I want you to find the general labor here. Where is that? This is your general labor. And based from these steps, it says here you need to assign 200% for 5 and 6. So what you're going to do is type in 200% and then make sure that you're going to press enter, or you're just going to type in or click the assign. And then the next step, you're asked to enter 400% general labor for activity 8 to 11, 13 to 15. Okay, so go back 8 to 13, this one here, highlight those, and then press Control on your keyboard, and then select the other. And you're asked to assign a general labor of how much? 400%. This one here, 400%. So what I want you to do is just type in 400%, then press enter or click assign. Okay, and you will be able to assign them. So you can check. So here you will see that you assign yourself throughout the project. You assign general labor 400%, which according to the illustration. And then you will also see if you have all the costs and then all right, the next step, change the log time between activity 6 and 7 to 4 days. So how can we change that? So just like the way that you can exit this out now if you're not going to assign any resources, you can just exit that out. Just exit that. And then it says here on here we have to change your 4 days, okay, for your activity 6 and 7. Let's do that. So what is your activity 6 and 7? This one here and your frame house. So there are two ways. You can double click your frame house and then change the log time by going to predecessor and change this into 4 days. All right, and then click OK. Or the other one is double click the link between those two activities, that arrow. It pop up this dialog box here, and you can change the number here as well too. So that's the other way for you to do it. All right, so we already changed that from 5 days to 4 days. Okay. Now the next thing we have to do now is to make sure that we assign delivery costs tasks for 4, 7, and 12. Okay. So to do that, I want you to go to your activity 4 and then go back again and click assign resources. And this time we are going to assign the delivery. Okay, here we're going to type in 500 and then assign it. Okay. So you will notice here that it changed it to 0. So I don't know if you it won't allow you to put in units here, but I don't know why it won't gives you. Let me go back into your. There are several ways for you to do that. You can add the cost per use here as 500 if you wanted. Okay, so I want you to go. Let me X this out. I want you to type in what you want. All right, let me put it on the standard. It won't allow you to. Because I want to type in the number either way. Because you're supposed to. There you go. No problem. I want you to go back into your Gantt chart and we'll check on that one in a bit. So we have your foundation, assign resources. Still the delivery is 0. I don't know why it won't allow you to enter it. And then go to your exterior. It should be delivery again, and that's 500. See, it changed into a 0, but I don't know what's the reasons for that. Because you have to enter the cost that you need. All right, so once you assign that, let's just leave that way. We'll see if the system will change it later on. Okay, so the next step is to assign brick quantities of 2,500. And you need to keep in mind that there are several other materials to where you will be assigning. You need to make sure that you assign those material into the correct task. So in this case here, say for example, dig foundation, you have here your resources. For dig foundation, there is nothing in here that has related to mobilization or something like that. So we're just going to leave that. But when it comes to concrete, we need to add, so here when it comes to cables and reinforcement, that has something to do with the concrete, so you need to put 1 unit, and I want you to put 1 unit also for the concrete. Okay, so and that will give you click enter or assign. Okay, and then next, the frame house. The frame house has something to do with framing. So I want you to find that says roof frame. Oh, that's the house frame in there. Is there any wall frame? So that wall frame has something to do with the frame the house. So I want you to put 1 unit in there and make sure that you're going to assign. And then the roof house, you are going to assign that to the correct materials, and that is the roof frame or truss. I want you to put 1 unit in there, and then install insulation. Find if there is an insulation materials in there. So there is one insulation, so I want you to put in 1, and then I want you to click assign. Then I want you to go into the brick. It says on the problem, you are going to type in how many pieces? 2,500 bricks. So in that case, you are going to put on the bricks, you have to find your bricks, and you're going to type in a unit of 2,500 pieces. Okay, so it will give you 875 for that. And then go to your plumbing. If there's anything that has something to do with plumbing, then you have to assign it. But since we don't have it, there's no plumbing in here. All right. So just leave it. And then electrical. Is there anything that has something to do with electrical here? There's nothing as well too, because this is just a partial project. Now, when it comes to install drywall, make sure that you assign if there is any drywall in there as well. So we have here drywall, and then we have here one unit. Now you will notice here that there are some resources that are not assigned because we don't have some other uh, activities related to shingles, that it has something to do with the roof house as well too. So you need to assign that one unit. Okay, assign. And there's nothing on the outside. Okay, for you could assign your siding for the frame house, but that's frame house. Okay, so let's just leave it there. And even the paint interior, there's no activities that is related to paint interior. So we'll just keep those for now, and then just exit out. Okay, and I'm going to resolve that. What is that? The delivery later on. The other thing that we need to enter is that the fixed cost. So we have all of these fixed costs here that has something to do with. Let me see. I don't have fixed costs for excavation and mobilization. That's digging probably, and then finished plumbing 3,000, finished electrical 1,750, windows and doors that is 20,000. Okay, so let's just put those into our fixed costs. So what I want you to do is I want you to right click because we're going to bring out the cost table. That's where you're going to enter the fixed cost. So here, so this is where you're going to add the fixed cost. So here you need to enter first excavation and mobilization. So that's on your excavation, dig foundation. So you're going to enter there, that's 2,500. Type in there 2,500. And then what else do we have? It says here finished plumbing, that's 3,000. So on the plumbing here, and the fixed cost, type in 3,000. Okay, and the next electrical 1,750. Find your electrical 1,750. All right, and the other one is windows and doors. However, we don't have any activity that has something to do with uh, doors and windows, so we'll just leave it there. So we just added 2,500, 3,000, 7,500. Okay, now let me resolve that delivery. Okay, let me see if that because when you go back into your entry table, this one here. Now, when you go into your exterior delivery, okay, so when you assign resources, you must have a delivery and it's still showing up to be zero. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go back into my resource sheet here, and I'm going to probably remove this, and then I'm going to retype it, delivery, and then I need to make sure that this is a cost. Okay, and then let me see if I could add here. It won't allow you to. Okay, probably because you will be asked to enter them into your. Uh, Otherwise, you can make it into material, but should allows you to where you could add the cost per use. But let's see if that works right now. So I want you to go into delivery for 4, 7, and 12. Okay, 4, 7, 12. So I want you to type in 500. There you go. It still not gives you. Don't worry about it. I need to find it out why it keeps going to zero. Otherwise, let me change it into uh, material rather than cost. If I'm going to put it as a material and I'm going to put it as 500 per use and then go back and assign them if that works. 4, 7, and 12. Okay, 4. So here we are going to put 1 unit. So it gives you now 500. Okay, and then 7, you could put it delivery 1 unit. I think that's the easiest way we could do it because it will give you then 412 and then delivery 1 unit and then assign them. All right, so then close that out. Then you should assign all the costs. And how will you know how much it costs for the project? There are two ways for you to do that. You can go to your project, the one I've shown you, on the project information. See here the statistics. So it gives you here the overall cost, that's 65,000. 50 days to complete it. So you have there 50 days. And then I want you to click close. So with that, I want you to ask what it says here. You're going to print the Gantt chart and the network diagram. Okay. So what I want you to do, let me go back on the lecture if I miss anything on this step. So here, there's still some. I missed some of those, but I'm going to now, such as the resource allocation view, I'm going to show you that we covered the cost table as well too, and the schedule table. Now let me go over with this again. So here on the resource allocation view, what to do is you have to go to your view bar, and then I want you to go and select more views, and then I want you to find resource allocation. Now this is very important, especially when you need to find which of those activities or tasks that are over allocated. So to do that, you have to go into the more views on your view bar. Click this one here, and you should find a search resource allocation view. So this one here is your resource allocation. Take note the difference between the table and the resource view. Okay, so when you click that, you can apply it and you'll be able to see and find which of those that are over allocated. On the upper table here, you will see that when you scroll down, if there is an over allocated, it gives you in red mark. Okay, otherwise, if there is no over allocation, then you will not see those red mark. All right. So I'm going back into Gantt chart. Okay, that's how you're going to, and you will notice it create a split. So it create a split here. Well, to get rid of this split here, I want you to go that says view, and then I want you to uncheck the details so that it get rid of the, again, this is the detail here to create the split view. Okay. All right, so next is your cost table. What you need to do here is right click the select all button, and then what I want you to do is select now the cost table. All right, from there you are going to enter the fixed cost. All right, that is how you do the cost table. And of course, this schedule table, what to do is, again, you have to right click the select all button. So what's the purpose of the schedule table? That is where you are going to find those free float, total float, start, early finish, and late start, late finish. So right click the select all button, then I want you to select schedule. From there, you will be able to see your TF, your FF, the early start, early finish. You have your late start and your late finish. Okay, that's where you are going to find those information. All right, so let me show you data. So this is the select all button again here. When you are required to show a table, this is where you're going. If you are required to show a view, you have to go into the view bar. You get that? So here, again, this is where we get the cost, and we enter all those fixed costs that we need. And then when you need to go into the schedule table here, that's where you're going to see all the early start, early finish, late start, late finish, and then the free float and the free float. Since they're all critical activities, there is no float time on them. Okay, so let me go back into my Gantt chart again. So just click. See, it's easy for you to toggle back and forth if you have the view bar. If you don't have the view bar, you need to dig in and find that view that you wanted. Okay, all right. So that is that schedule table. Now, when you need to show the leveling Gantt view, especially if you have over allocation, what to do is just go back again to your view bar and then more views, and then I want you to go to leveling Gantt. All right, pretty much the one same way that you did for the resource allocation view, because that's a view. Okay, so we have here, when you go into this pane or this bar here, you have to go again into the more views. From there, you should be able to find that leveling Gantt. So here, this is the leveling Gantt. Okay, and then you apply that and it gives you a view. And now, since none of those activities has been moved or rescheduled, you will not be able to see any changes. Otherwise, if there are some changes, they are being pushed back up, you will see that you will see the baseline and the one that has been leveled. Okay, and I'll probably show you that in one other examples later on. Okay, so what I want you to do, this is the leveling delays. It changed you also here, okay, on the chart, because it tells you here how much has been delayed in each of those activities. So I want you to go back into your Gantt chart. Okay, I think that's all. The split pane, where what you need to do here is just go to your view tab, and then I want you to go into the split group, and then I want you to go in the detail. Okay, all right, so to do that, so you have to go to the view, okay, here, and then you have to go to the split view, and then you have here the details. Okay, click that one, and you can select whatever views that you want to show it at the bottom. Okay, again, there are two ways for you to get rid of that. You can uncheck it, or you can right click it and then just select uncheck the show split. All right, so let me save this one again as lecture exercise. Let me just rename it, okay, and save that as lecture exercise 2B. There you go, and then click save. All right, so the next thing that we are going to do now is how you could custom print it. And this is very critical because you are going to do this on your exam. Okay. All right, so to do that, we need to print first the Gantt chart. So how do you print the Gantt chart? So what I want you to do is just go to your file. There you go. And then I want you to go to say print. All right. You will notice that it is not fit into one page. it cut out. What I want you to do is go to page setup, and I want you to go fit to one page. See here, fit to one page, and then I want you to click OK. And you will notice it will fit into one page for all the activities and your Gantt chart as well too. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go and Microsoft print to PDF. So again, just like the one that you're doing for most of your lab exercise, I want you to click that, and then it allows you to save that by clicking print. And I want you to go again into your documents. In my case, I saved them all in the documents, and I'm just going to put it here, lecture exercise 2. Okay, and that is in PDF. See that PDF, and then save. All right, and you should be able, and again, before you log out from the TCC cloud, make sure that you're going to email those files that you created. Okay, next, let's go and print the Gantt chart. I'm sorry, the network diagram. So I want you to shift that into the network diagram view. Click that, and you will have this one here. And then go ahead and print that again. Print. And then I want you to fit it to one page by going into the page setup. And then make sure that you fit it one to one, so that you will be able to see all your network diagrams. And the same way, print that with your PDF, and then print, and then you can name that as lecture exercise 2B. All right, and then save it. There you go. All right, that is how you're going to have the let me put it here. When you custom, you have to go file, and then you want to go print, and make sure that you have to go page setup, and then I want you to go and assign that to file, print, page setup, and make it to fit to one page. And then after that, I want you to select print, but make sure that you have to select the Microsoft file to PDF, okay, option, or Microsoft print to PDF, okay. So that's the option. There's one more thing that I want you to, but I'm going to explain that in my next, probably I could just cut up into two videos. Okay, so the other thing is the cash flow. How do you print the cash flow? I want you to go into the report, okay, and then I want you to go into the cash flow group. So here, when you go into the report, let me go back into the Gantt chart again. Okay, just click that. So when you go into the report, you will see here on the view report group. So let me just put that view report, and then I want you to go into the cost option. So to do that, go into the view report, and then go to the cost. Click that one, and you will find the cash flow. All right, so this will be the cash flow that you will need. Okay, so what I want you to do, it shows the cost of your project, but one thing that I want you to do here is create the S curve. So from here, I want you to create the S curve. All right, so to do that, what I want you to do, I want you to, let me just add more here. On the S curve, I want you to grip the graph, and then so here what you're going to do is grip this graph here, grip this one. It will gives you an automatic field list on the right here. So what I want you to do in there is on the field list, okay, I want you to change first the time, this one here. I want you to click this one, and I want you to change that into days. Okay, days. Take note of that. And the date format, you may need to probably just do two numbers. Okay, so you can select on the choices that you have here. You can have this one Wednesday 128 as and start on February 8 and on the finish date of the project. And I want you to just click OK. All right. So again, what we did here on the field list, I asked you to go to time and then change to day. All right. So that is how you're going to do. The other thing that I want you to go. All right. Let me grip this one first. I want you to change this one here. I just want just the cumulative cost. So I want you to uncheck this one so that it will show you only one curve here. And there you go. You have your S curve here, which is the cumulative cost as well. So that is how you create the S curve for the cash flow. Once you have that, you just need to go and file and print. Okay, and it will print this one into Microsoft Print PDF. Okay, if it cut out, make sure that you're going to click the page setup. Okay, and then click. You have here now. You'll be able to save it as lecture exercise 3B. All right, and then click save. All right, so again, once you've done, make sure that you save your work, okay, and then exit out. Okay, let me exit out, and then what I want you to do, well, just click yes. What I want you to do is I want you to email all of this to yourself, all of this file, because all of these are saved into the TSU computer. Who knows, when you come back, you lose those, or you may be connected into a different computer. You will not be able to find those. So what I want you to do is go into Google Chrome. Okay, you go into your email. So in my case, let me go into my Yahoo email. Okay, see if I can remember my email address. I need to make sure that I will be able to email those to myself just in case they clean up the oops, what did I do? All right, and then your password. Let me see if that is correct. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to compose it, email that to my TSU, and then I'm going to put it here, lecture exercise 2 for the subject. So what I'm going to do here is just attach those files from this computer, go to your documents, and I want you to just attach all of this and make sure that you send them to your email so that you will be able to have a backup. You will always have a record. Okay, and then once you have that, just send it. Okay, and there you go. So log out, and you still be able to find those files later on.